Hello, today we're discussing the topic of inequality in society. This book is quite interesting as it explains economic inequality from the perspective of human development, and how we should view this issue. When it comes to economic inequality, you might think of various reasons, such as some people being more capable than others, earning more, or the uneven distribution of resources, and even some people just having good luck. However, this book offers a perspective you may not have considered. It doesn't just look at individual situations, but rather explores the roots of economic inequality from the height of human evolution. The author argues that all economic inequalities in social structures ultimately stem from differences in humans' ability to accumulate advantages. The stronger this ability, the greater the inequality. Next, we'll divide this book into 3 parts and discuss it gradually. First, we need to clarify how economic inequality arose and developed during human evolution, and why it's said to stem from our ability to accumulate differences. What exactly does accumulating differences mean? Think about it. People can never be completely the same. There will always be some differences. For example, in a primitive society, if a young man is particularly skilled, he can hunt more game. This is a difference. But this difference can lead to even greater disparities. For instance, he may eat better than others, become stronger, and attract more women, leaving behind more offspring. If he leads the tribe's combat effectiveness may also improve. This situation exists in modern society as well. Everyone has their own strengths, which contribute to their differences. The greater the differences, the more pronounced the advantages, and the more opportunities you have. However, it's important to note that the difference I mention and the accumulation of differences are not entirely the same. For instance, within that tribe, there are strong individuals and weak ones. But can we say that there is severe economic inequality in that tribe? Not really, because in that era, the advantages of being strong or skilled in hunting could not be accumulated. Yes, he might eat better now, but when he gets old, there will always be stronger young people. At that time, he will still have to eat the leftovers, just like the other elders in the tribe. Therefore, from the perspective of human evolution, primitive tribes did not have the ability to accumulate differences, and economic inequality in social structures did not emerge. So when did we begin to have the ability to accumulate differences? A key turning point was when food was domesticated and agricultural societies began to appear. There are 2 crucial factors here. The first key factor is the change in production methods. People transitioned from foraging and hunting to farming and herding. This change brought about a stable food source, eliminating the need for constant migration and allowing them to live in fixed locations. This satisfied the basic conditions for resource accumulation. With surplus food to store and fixed fields, future food supplies could be guaranteed. The second key factor is the change in wealth transfer models. For farmers and herders with stable outputs, wealth transfer is a vertical transfer between relatives, meaning the wealth of the previous generation is directly passed down to the next. In the foraging and hunting era, resources were shared horizontally among the same generation because the priority then was to ensure the survival of everyone in the tribe. It was nearly impossible for an individual to leave the group, evade predators, and find enough food on their own. Thus, resources needed to be shared to meet the needs of others in the tribe to ensure the group's vitality. However, in an agricultural society, this situation changed. Each household could guarantee its survival through its own output, so the accumulated wealth would naturally be passed down to descendants. As a result, wealth could be preserved for a long time and even grow. Conversely, wealth and resources shared among peers were often directly consumed and could not be retained. You see, when people in primitive societies lacked the ability to accumulate differences, it was difficult to form economic inequalities. Rather, they would strive to maintain equality. Today, we can still observe this phenomenon. In some Central Asian tribes, they maintain very ancient living habits. By observing them, we can get a good sample. They adhere to a principle of egalitarianism when distributing food. All property in the tribe is shared. If someone hoards some food for their family and is found out, they must share it with everyone. Sometimes, if they hunt large game that cannot be consumed, they will actively share it with other tribes. Therefore, tribe members have almost no private property, no exclusive territories, and no leaders or rulers. It can be said that due to the division and improvement of social functions, combined with the change in production methods and the vertical transfer of wealth, the accumulation of private resources and wealth began to gradually take shape, leading to the ability to accumulate differences. This marks the first node in the emergence of economic inequality in human history. Now, when people start to accumulate wealth and resources, a new problem arises. How do I protect these resources and wealth from being taken by others? It's hard to do it alone. The ability to accumulate differences in humans not only requires conditions but also needs protection to ensure stable development. What can be done? The best approach is to seek help from others, forming a collective. The more people there are, the stronger the defense against theft. Initially, this collective might consist of just a few dozen people as a small family organization. With population growth, it could develop into groups of thousands, tens of thousands, or even larger tribes. This marks the emergence of primitive states. To operate such a large group effectively, different divisions of labor will inevitably arise. A small number of capable elites will occupy resources that have not been consumed in time. Some individuals will have higher production skills and stronger wealth accumulation abilities. Others may have innate leadership qualities, able to guide the group in resisting external invasions or further improving productivity. At this point, economic inequality at the structural level becomes difficult to avoid. The formation of states indeed protected individuals' private property, but it also created unprecedented conditions for the accumulation and concentration of resources in the hands of a few. The author mentions an interesting statistic. 3,500 years ago, the area controlled by organizations referred to as states accounted for no more than 1% of the Earth's land area, yet it controlled half of the global population. By the time of the Roman Empire and the Han Dynasty, these two empires occupied about 1/10 of the Earth's area, yet controlled a population that could reach 3/4 of the global total. In such vast ancient empires, a small number of rulers occupied the vast majority of resources, referred to by the author as the initial 1%. He argues that the formation of states separated a small ruling class from a large number of primary producers. Here, we can clearly see that the ability to accumulate resources became significantly differentiated with the establishment of states. Those with stronger accumulation abilities naturally rose to the top of society, further enhancing their means and capabilities for resource accumulation. In early states, this was a winner-takes-all situation. In the process of human social evolution, the formation of early states marked the second node in the promotion of economic inequality. Later, as we entered modern society, urbanization, commercialization, financial innovation, and global trade enabled those with substantial capital to obtain greater returns, supported by a relatively complete set of laws and social systems protecting private property. This enhanced the ability to accumulate wealth, leading to intensified economic inequality. So, will the gap between the rich and the poor continue to widen? Are there any factors that can break this inequality? In the next section, we will discuss this question. Regarding this issue, different disciplines have varying views. Some advocate for solutions through legal means, while others call for macroeconomic regulation by the state. However, the author, approaching from the perspective of human evolution, observes that inequality arises from the ability of humans to accumulate differences. The most direct way to break this situation is to eliminate that ability. The author notes that historically, significant disruptions to economic inequality have come from large-scale violent conflicts, such as wars. These events destroyed people's ability and tools for accumulating wealth. So, how does war achieve this in a nutshell? War directly destroys the means and tools for wealth accumulation. First, war disrupts the economic order of states. Generally, during wartime, states implement government controls over the economy, meaning that land and commodity prices are strictly regulated, and stock and bond markets are impacted. From the perspective of accumulating differences, buying and selling land or issuing stocks and bonds are crucial means by which people use existing resources to acquire more wealth. All of these methods can exacerbate inequality. However, during wartime, these means are severely restricted. Taking Japan during World War II as an example, it was one of the most unequal countries in the world. At the outbreak of war, the government mandated that commodities must be purchased under a rationing system, halting personal capital accumulation. By the end of the war, many large companies went bankrupt, and capital suffered significant losses. The inequality experienced in Japan during the war was greatly alleviated. Similar situations occurred in Europe, where after World War II, society underwent an unprecedented process of equalization. Thus, it can be seen that war is an important factor in breaking economic inequality. This does not imply that war is good, rather, it suggests that when society encounters such a significant shock, the original ability to accumulate differences is weakened or even destroyed, thereby alleviating inequality. Of course, war is not the only means to break economic inequality. Another significant factor is technological revolution. Each technological revolution dramatically changes production methods and alters the patterns of wealth accumulation, influencing the degree of inequality. For example, the first industrial revolution brought new technologies such as the steam engine and textile machines, leading to a leap in productivity. This caused workers who had previously relied on human power and manual labor to be gradually replaced by machines, enabling factory owners and inventors to accumulate vast wealth, thereby widening the wealth gap. However, at the same time, technological revolutions also bring new opportunities. As productivity increases, goods become cheaper, living standards improve, and some lower-tier workers can access new job opportunities. Coupled with the labor rights achieved through unions and the establishment of social welfare systems, industrialization did not plunge everyone into poverty but instead offered new possibilities for economic equality. For instance, the contemporary information technology revolution and the proliferation of the Internet have allowed some tech giants to amass enormous wealth, but they have also provided many with new entrepreneurial opportunities and flexible work models. Remote work, the rise of freelancers, and even the development of blockchain technology all have the potential to reshape the economic structure, providing new avenues for those who previously had no opportunity to accumulate wealth. Nevertheless, the author points out that while technological revolutions may temporarily alleviate inequality, in the long run, they often create new inequalities. The reason is that those who master new technologies will always hold an advantage for some time, while others require longer to adapt to the changes brought by new technologies. This time lag in adaptation may further exacerbate social inequalities. Thus, while technological revolutions can alter wealth distribution patterns, they are not the ultimate solution for eliminating inequality. Finally, the author suggests that the true force capable of long-term and stable reduction of inequality may be more universal social policies and global cooperation. For example, the expansion of public education, the equalization of healthcare services, and social welfare policies ensuring minimum living standards are all important tools for reducing inequality. In a society with sound social welfare and public services, the ability to accumulate differences will be somewhat weakened, and the speed of personal wealth accumulation will not vary excessively due to issues like background and resource inequality. The author believes that if future societies wish to reduce economic inequality, they must prioritize the formulation and implementation of these public policies. At the same time, globalization has tightly interconnected the economies of various countries. If the inequality issue cannot be addressed on a global scale, it may lead to more social turmoil. Therefore, international cooperation and attention to global inequality will become key to solving this issue. In summary, economic inequality is not a phenomenon unique to modern society but has been evolving and changing alongside human societal evolution. The emergence and protection of the ability to accumulate differences are the root causes of inequality. The means to break this inequality include both large-scale social upheavals like wars and the productivity advancements brought about by technological revolutions and social policy adjustments. To genuinely address the issue of economic inequality in the future may require more comprehensive and long-term social reforms and global cooperation.